Right, I've decided today we're going to do a page about cake. For those of you who don't know, I was diagnosed as insulin resistant a couple of years ago, and I've been known my whole life as the person that has dessert first. Literally, I go to, if you've been on any event with me, if you have been out for dinner with me, you will know the first thing I do is look at the dessert menu and choose my dessert, and I even order it first. And often the poor waiters, they get so confused, they think that I've made a mistake and that's what I want at the end. And no, I have to remind them, no, I actually want it as a starter. Well, that's how I used to roll until I was insulin resistant, and now I can't have cake at all, but I can have paper cake. So that's what I've decided to do today. I've always had a fetish of cupcakes, and it's become a particular special, cupcakes have special meaning to me now because two reasons. My best friend Claire, who I have pink hair for, who died 7 years ago, her company she had a company making the most exquisite cupcakes. So cupcakes always remind me of her, so that's one thing. And then I have another friend, Candace, who is mad about cupcakes, and so much so, cupcakes and dogs. And her number plate on her car is actually Pupcake. So I just think that's so cute. So cupcakes have lots of good feeling, good memories, good reasons to have them around, especially in paper, because there are no calories in a cupcake that is paper. And hi Vasily, hi, I can't even pronounce half the people who are in the house. Bonjour Beatrice, I'm sorry I can't speak French. So today I am going to go with the cake one because I have already used this one. I'll flip back in my journal just now. I have already used this one recently in this journal, and I will be stamping, or I have actually stamped. I have pre-prepared, because you really don't want to watch me fussy cutting, even though this is the easiest fussy cut on the face of this planet. I've used this Amadeo mixed media pad to print on because I'm going to be watercoloring this, which I will be doing later. These are Colorado Craft Company stamps that I have bought here in Berlin at Stempelbar. Morning, Michael. And I particularly like this sentiment that it says over here, let's celebrate something today so we can have cake. And I just thought that appropriate because we're all stuck in lockdown. My husband's lucky enough to be one that can work during this time. He works online, he's in IT. A lot of people are stuck at home unable to work, and I thought these were rather pretty knives and forks to go with the sentiment. I might use them, I might not. We'll just have to see how this page, where it goes. Because I always start off with kind of a plan. And, you know, if you have a plan, you can change it. That's what I always used to say to my friends before lockdown, because people, you know, you'd bump into a friend at the shops and you say, oh, we must get together and have coffee. And then it's like 6 weeks later, you bump into them again at the shops and, oh, we must have coffee. So I'm the kind of person that actually diarizes stuff, and I even set up like monthly arrangements where I used to meet, or still do, meet my friends. Let's just check I've got water. So I'm going with Distress Oxide Sprays in Mermaid Lagoon and Picked Raspberry. So I will actually set up like a monthly thing. Let's meet on the first Friday of every month, or the first Tuesday or last Tuesday or whatever of every month. And at least that way, if life happens and things, you know, life happens. Sometimes you're sick, sometimes your kids are sick and you can't actually go to the tea dates or the craft date or whatever it is. And this is the worst sprayer on the face of this planet, but anyway, it's doing the job. I always wet one page of my art journal, then I add my color, and I'm going to go with pink in the middle. Oh, that is from one extreme to the other. This has got a very broad spray, and the little spring is getting stuck, so I'm just having to help it in between. Don't forget to clean your nozzle after you have sprayed, otherwise it will block. So okay, I've got my pink going. Now I'm going to do the same with my blue, and I'm going to try and get it around the edge. Okay, I can see I need more water, so I'm going to try this bottle and see if it's behaving itself. Okay, there we go. Water, water, water everywhere. Not a drop to spare. So now I've got it nice and wet. I'm going to close my page and grab my roller towel and do a Diane Reevely. Yes, Olga, I'm having serious withdrawals for our coffee dates and our meetings at Stemple Bar and at Midliebe. It's really starting to get a bit ridiculous. Almost forgotten what you look like. Ta-da! Okay, so now I normally grab this off and just pick up some of the ink in the middle of the book with the tips of it like this, because otherwise it drowns the rest of my books. But I want to do it so that I don't actually it's all soaking in. I'm going to have some other pages that are rather flooded because it seeps through the stitching. Okay, oh well, it is what it is. I'm going to just blow dry this. Yes, so I'm the kind of person that likes to make arrangements because then I can change them. I'm a bit of a, I'm not one lastminute.com kind of person who waits for the sort of a whole lot of invitations to come in and then choose the one I feel like going to. I like to know in advance what I'm doing. I'm just one of those people. One learns a lot about oneself over time. And so now I'm just drying it. If you can let this air dry, it definitely does dry slightly more interesting. So this is how I like to get color onto my backgrounds really quickly. I've seen Tim Holtz do the same process with 2 tags. So he sprays the one and then he blots it with the other one. And for me, it's just the easiest and fastest way to get an interesting background that that is quite quick. And you can see on this page, I have actually I sprayed through a stencil back here somewhere. There. So I sprayed through my stencil there, and then, not to waste the ink, I blotted it over here. So I must still decide what I'm doing with this page. Where is my cupcake? I did do a cupcake back here somewhere. Oh, I thought it was, there it is. There. So that's the cupcake. It's really, really gorgeous. So I thought I'll use the cake one now. And I'm going to let that dry a bit more on its own while I color up the cupcake. And there's a few ways you can color up the cupcake. Sorry, I just need to clean my desk, because even though I had those breakfast cereal cardboards in there to try and protect everything from the overspray, it has still managed to overspray. And this is my tape to stop me going out of shot from a previous live. Okay, so now my desk is clean. Let's get out my cupcake. I quite like to actually use my inks, my sprays as colors to actually color up with. And I'm gonna get out some purple, and I'm gonna get out, I don't seem to have yellow out. No, okay, but not to worry, I have, and I forgot to take it out. You know, you can be as organized as you think before a live stream, and then there's always something you've forgotten. Okay. Oh, don't worry, that's just gravity sucks. That was my guillotine hitting the floor. Right, I need some little brushes. That's maybe a little, because I want to do a rainbow cake. Once in my life I have eaten a rainbow cake, and I've decided I want to make this a pretty happy page. And So what I've done is I didn't. My one student did, because these were studio watercolors. Gabby very patiently sat and made color swatch for me, which is rather nice, because some of these colors are so dark you can't actually see what's what, as long as they don't all fall all over the place and you land up with them all coming out. Then you've got to start all over again. Right, I'm going to use some water on my mat, and I'm going to spray some of these colors onto my mat as well. In fact, I'm not going to use that purple, but I will use the Dilutions pink. I'm going to just take it out and pop some. There's so little left in here because this is the bottle of spray that I use to spray my t-shirt with. Something yellow on my desk next to my water spray. It's my sticker. I used to put these stickers and this blue tape on all my stuff when I taught classes in South Africa, because that way I knew it was mine and I could see at a distance, because every now and again I would accidentally, when I'm packing up at the end of a class, go home with one of my students' things, or they would go home with one of mine. It was never intentional. Whoops. You see, I didn't want to spray because now it's splattered that. That's exactly why I didn't want to spray. Oh, well. Can't talk and concentrate at the same time. So I will use my watercolor yellows. Oh, and I've got blue all over here. Oh, well, that's going to make for interesting coloring because it is water reactive and it's always going to react. So I'm going to start with what? I think I'll have my yellow in the middle just because. And I'm going to go with this quite strong yellow over there, because then I can go up and down. Oh, there we go. We have greenish yellow because of my Mermaid Lagoon has got into my paper. So we just work with what we've got. It's called life. It's called life lesson number 1. Don't get distracted and spray instead of tip your paint out. Okay, so I have got my yellow going in there. I always start with my lightest color because then you can go darker from there. I'm going to go into, where is this viridian? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, I can't even see what it looks like. So I'm going to go down into green over here. And so this could be a chocolate cake, it could be a vanilla cake. That's the joy with these. It can be absolutely anything you want. And I'm making it slightly darker at the top where the icing might be oozing out. Okay, now I'm gonna go, I really should have some clean water on my desk. My water is not very clean. Now I'm going to go into this blue because I want something that matches with the page. Now the oxide is opaque, so it's going to have a completely different look to the watercolors, which are transparent. I could dilute it a bit more, I guess. I need a bit more water. That one's run out. Let's use this one that's going to spray a jet everywhere. It's like a flipping fire hose. Okay, so if you dilute the oxides a bit, it will improve the color. Rainbow cake. Yes, I'm making rainbow cake. I've only ever eaten rainbow cake once. Now I want purple at the bottom. I don't suppose food coloring comes in quite these strong colors, but hey. And just for fun, I'm going to go from here, I'm going up into orange above the yellow. Wash my brush. And I'm going to go into the dye. No, what do I want there? I want orange. Or as my dear student Dolly would say, orange, because she's from the States. It was our favorite thing to try and make her say orange. So she was chatting to one of my other students at her desk one day and chatting away about something, and I can't remember what the conversation was about, but she said orange. And she turned to Errol and she said, shut up. In the middle, she just carried on. It was like in the middle of a sentence. Orange, shut up, and then carried on with her story. It was really hilarious. Because she knew, we used to try everything to get her to make us say orange. And this is a little bit too yellow, so I'm going to go into a bit of a darker orange. Orange. And instead of going red, I'm going to go pink at the top. I'm going to go with my Diane Reevely pink, which might go purple because it's got the blue spray. Nope, it's not. Yay, it's keeping its pink. I love this pink. This is my hair color. Well, when we're not in lockdown, my hair I was in desperate need of bleaching the roots and doing the pink again. It's still pink, the bit that grows out, but I got serious Britney Spears bad hair root. But anyway, there's no one to look at it, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so now I'm going to use all these colors. I think I'm going to have pink over here because I need more pink. I'm going to have pink in this icing that's going to go across the top, and then it's going to fade. So I'm going to have it fade out into kind of nothing down here. And I'm going to have it fade over there. And I'm going to use some of this water, whatever color that is, as sort of a background color. And I'm going to let that dry for a little bit. I'm going to go back to some of this purple to shade. I'm going to shade some of this, it's not strong enough. Shade some of that there. So the things that are behind each other are always darkest. So to make things feel like they're going back, you need to have a shadow behind. Okay, now it's time to just, I'm going to blow dry that a little bit. My rainbow cake is almost done. Bubblegum pink, yes, that's exactly what it is. My hair is bubblegum pink apparently. I'm going to turn it over. You can see I stamped on one side of the paper and it didn't work. So I don't waste anything, I just turned it over and stamped on the other side. My stamp was brand new and it was really sticky, so even though I had the magnets on the stamping platform, because I stamped this in the stamping platform, which technically should make it easier, the stamp was so sticky that it pulled itself out of the magnets and made a mess. So I now need to, let's just see what's on my brush. Nothing. Oh no, a dirty mess. Okay, let's go back to some yellow for the dots. I want some of these sprinkles, so it's got like hundreds and thousands on here. And I'm just going to put some random yellow dots in places. And I think that's enough yellow almost. Then I'm going to go into orange. I'm going to use this one and make some orange ones. I'm not going to color them all because we would be here all day. I'm now going to bring some pink ones in. This stuff just pops. It's gorgeous. Bring some over here. I need some blue ones. And the nice thing with this blue is because it's opaque, I can go over some of these areas where the stamp is quite solid with the black, and it'll show. And lastly, I need some of the green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just wet my brush a little bit. I'm using rather a large brush for such small spaces, but it's fine. I'm just using the tip. And I'm going to make some up so I can have some more green. And there. Okay, I'm going to let that dry. My rainbow cake. Actually, hang on a second. I've decided I should have a little bit more orange in here. The minute you start adding shading, it just looks, I don't know, has a little bit more depth. Oops, going out of my line. I'm just going to use a clean brush to blend that down. Now that I've done that, now I feel like I need to do it all the way along. What a pain. But I think I'll just do it in my yellow and my orange. Just give it a little bit more depth. Okay, Olga, your phone giving you a hard time. I think our phones and our computers are working overtime at the moment. Everybody's online for either work or social connecting or dealing with family, or I know that the internet is taking major strain. People are really struggling to connect in places because everybody's trying to use it. I'm going to use a little bit of permanent rose. It's number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I want to see if I can. In fact, I'm going to use that on that to see if I can get a darker version. A little bit of shadowing, there we go, along the top of the pink line. It just stops it looking quite so comic booky when you just have flat color stripes. And I'm going to bring a little bit in there. See, I could sit and doodle and play like this for ages. Now I just need to clean my brush and drag that down a little bit. You have to be careful with the dye and weave because it is water reactive. So it kind of wants to pull itself off when you're putting another layer on. There we go. And I'm going to do the same with the purple. I'm just going to use the dye and weave in the purple to make it wet. Because I think, oh, that's very dark. Dilute that. Clean brush, just use water and pull that along. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry, and I'm just gonna mop this lot up over here. But now my pink, my precious pink, I poured too much out. I need one of these. See if I can slurp some of it back up with this. This is called a pipette. It's basically the same thing as what you have inside one of those ink bottles that you can save some of your ink, and I'm going to do the same. I didn't even use this. I'm going to do the same with this guy. Because I hate waste of something like that. Especially now under lockdown, we can't even go shopping. Right, so now I have my happy little cake. Whose lid was this? I think it was my water jar. No, it was that water jar. I do, because I store a lot of my, well, my things all standing up. I have got a sticker sheet that I've just punched little circles from, that I've done little samples, color swatches. As you can see, I haven't done it on all of them, and for some reason these two are even missing their lids. So for now, I'm going to pop this away. Let's see how my page is doing. I think it's dry. You hear the sound of coffee being made. Yes, I'm hoping that I'm in the queue. I haven't been offered. Okay, so we'll have our cake over here, I think. That looks good to me. Right, so I've got pink matching with pink. I've got some blue matching with some blue. Now I need to get going with my sentiment and maybe something else happening in my background, because this background is rather boring. I'm going to be using stamps for my saying. These are a bit small, so although I'm going to be using their sentiment, which is let's celebrate something today so we can have cake, I've decided I'm going to use my vintage foam stamps. So these were by Making Memories. In fact, Dina Wakely has been doing live streams every evening, late afternoon, early evening, and she was talking about how she first started stamping with Making Memories, and now she uses the Tim Holtz ones. But for this, I'm going to use these. So I want let's. Now I'm dyslexic, so these backwards and forwards letters, they drive me mad. So of course they're all back. I need the E. And what I've actually done is I have cut them all off at the bottom. This one I haven't, but you can see the letters I have used. I've cut off at the bottom, because when they stick these letters on these blocks, it's very random where they glue them. So I might have to do some trimming. I need a T. That one is trimmed, and I need the S, that is trimmed, and I need the L, yay, that is trimmed. I've just got double-sided tape on some scrapbook paper, and that's how I've stored them. So it's L-E-T-S, let's. And then I'm going to use this alphabet here, and we're going to write celebrate. So, oh, this is very sticky. C, E, where's L? L, and then we'll have to use the same E, B, R, A, R, E, T, 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 and then E again. Okay, so let's just see how we're going. Oh, Excuse me. Going to sneeze. Disguise my blowing my nose with my husband doing. So let's have let's, and we'll do this C E L. Now I've had to. Now you see I chopped the wrong side off because being dyslexic. Yes, so I've had to write on the back with a white Posca pen, and I've had to write at the bottom, put a little mark so I know it said C E L, then it would be E, then it will be B, and I did the same thing with the B, so at least I know which way that goes. So I need to put a white mark underneath that one. B. Okay, let's have A-T-E. Let's celebrate, and now we need something. Oh my word, for sillies to be without internet and being in lockdown, that must have been horrific. I suppose you were very creative during that time. I'm dying to see what you made. So let's celebrate. Now we need something over here. I try not to mix too many fonts. But for today, why not? I'm going to use these ones were by Bonbon, by Pebbles Ink. And they stay in their little, oh crumbs, how to get it out. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the C out. Sweet C. And then I have used the baby letters. So those are all caps. C-A K-E. So I like to repeat things. So we have space for let's, and then we're going to have celebrate, and we need something so we can eat cake. Oh, here comes my coffee. Thank you. Yum. Cheers, everyone. I needed that. Okay. Now we need, maybe we need to have something in this alphabet. Where's my S? Element of PQRS. S. O, element O. Maybe if I had it this way around, I'd be able to find it. O. S-O-M. E is already out. T. H. And I'm not going to take the dot out because I will lose it. I. N. G. I can pop the center out the G and the center out of that. Ding. Okay. Let's celebrate something. And then maybe cake. Maybe cake can be on the word. Cake can be on the word, on the slice. Yes, coffee and cake, people. We're having coffee and cake today. Let's celebrate something. What do I still need? Today. I need the word today. So let's go back to this alphabet because I like to repeat things. Not just myself. I think half the letters are out already. running out of space on my desk. Nothing new. Okay, so T O D A Y, and then okay, so let's celebrate something today. And then I think I'm going to use this tiny so we can have cake. Otherwise it's all gonna get too much. Right, now the fun part begins, the actual stamping. Dun, 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 dun. The scary part. That's what's missing in life, is the music, you know, like Jaws. Dun, 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 dun. You know something's coming. Vasily, I wouldn't think of you as shy. Mind you, I'm a what do you call it, an introvert. Nobody thinks of me as an introvert because they always hear me yakking. Find me in a group of people and I will be people watching. Actually, I'm just going to turn that so I'm sure I'm missing. Yes, celebrate, celebrate. Okay, and here is the D. You see I've chopped it off. Today. Okay, so yes, that was Star Wars music. Yay, you recognized it. Okay, I am going to use paint for these, and what I forgot to do was bring my tray of water. In fact, my tray of water is in the kitchen with my brush cleaner in it and a whole lot of stencils. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to pop some baby wipe on my desk and stand my stamps on the baby wipes so that they don't dry, because some of these you can see they're like 100 years old. No, some of them are really old, and I used to use them when I ran children's classes in. Hey Anya, hope you've had some rest. Okay, so I'm going to pop that there so that I can. Now, next trick is I want some color in this wording to match that. So I am going to, I can't walk in my studio because now I've chucked everything on the floor as I make my way through my, it's like a minefield. I've got all my distress paints, and yes, I've got a lot because I was a teacher. And you can see I've put the colors on the lid so that I can actually see what they are. So I think I'm going to have something and cake in black, and then let's have celebrate in, what should we have celebrate in? Let's have celebrate in blue, and let's have the let's in pink. Something's in black, and today what should we do? We'll do that again in the blue. So I'm wondering, because this blue is going to be too light, and that is too turquoise. I need rats, peacock feathers. I don't seem to have my mermaid lagoon. No. Oh, I must have packed it away. I need to go through these. Maybe I'll bring some green. This matches that green a bit. Maybe we need some green on the page. Let's have today in green. Right. So let's just see. It's amazing. I haven't used these for like ever. Literally, I haven't used them forever. So let's just get this. I need a surface. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay, so I'm inking up with my paint, and if they're not perfect, I really don't care. I'm going to try and get them straight, but I know that they won't go straight. Let's Now I need to get this the right way around. E, that way. You vote for something in rainbow. Oh, and yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. It must be really hard dealing with elderly people and this whole virus. Up where my friend Christiana lives, there's a retirement home with that's been ravaged by this horrible virus. Rainbow celebrate. Oh, you guys are suckers for punishment. Oh dear, there goes my T down below where it should be. And I need a gap because let us instead of, so it needs an apostrophe there. And put that back. So I'm going to have let with a gap and hopefully it's back up. You want the word something in rainbow. Oh, celebrate. Okay, let's see about that. Okay, so I'm going to leave that. Let's do the black. It's something and cake. Yeah, let's do that black. Oh, this one's the dead one. I killed that on a project. Somewhere I have another black. Yes, it's on my desk here somewhere, I think. Black, 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 black. Hello, black. No, that's chocolate brown. I always have a black on my desk. I never put it away. It's probably buried. That's my white. Where is my black? That is very odd. There it is. See, it never gets put away. What material did I use for the stamps? These are foam stamps for cities that I have purchased. Otherwise I use the kiddies foam and I die cut and make my own. So they're just foam. So it's foam die cuts that are on black foam, thick foam. I have used to make my own. I have used the kiddies foam that I either double up to make it nice and thick, or I get those floor mats from the baby shops that you normally puzzle together on the floor to stop them hurting themselves. And I die cut those with the steel rule dies. And I'm just using, oh, you mean the ink? This is Tim Holt's Distress Paint from the days before he did the flip cap. These are the foam tops. You can, I think, buy foam tops. I just really like them for this. Otherwise I use a mini foam roller and paint tray, but especially for something like today where I'm gonna be using a whole lot of colors, I find that a bit wasteful. Yes, they're Tim Holtz acrylics. S-O-M. Yeah, they're his distress paints. Because he also had, Ranger also had this line, the acrylic dabbers, the Adirondack. Those were my first ones until Tim came out with this line. These are a little bit more fluid than the Adirondack ones. Oh, I need the E from cake. And I like the fact that depending on what I'm doing, these are water reactive. So how am I going to do my E? Sorry, I'm trying to fit it in. Let's put it up above there. English is hard. Oh, shame. You mean for Vasilis? His English is good. I didn't get enough ink on there. It's hard to see the black on the black. I normally, you'll see me sort of angling it to see if I got it right. Vasilis, I was very lucky in South Africa. We had a company that imported Tim Holtz stuff called Trodat, and as a teacher I was able to buy from them. Here I do buy a lot of stuff on the internet, or we are very spoiled. We have both Stemple Bar, who carries a lot of Tim's products. In fact, I know they have these, so you'd be able to order from Stemple Bar. And fbLive also has his ink pads and things like that, and some of his dyes. But fbLive has gone more into the now I need the originals because now I don't know which way it's supposed to go. It's supposed to have the little thing at the bottom. Really? Have I got my alphabet the right way around? No, I haven't. I was going to say it needs to go that way. Feel my pain, people. Can't spell either. Mom had to correct my spelling in my plea for my please go and how rude. Let's see if I can wash that off. In yesterday's Facebook thing, now I've made a hole in the paper. Oh, this is going from bad to worse. Fine, now we'll just fix it with a bit of pink. There we go. Problem solved. Okay, now I need to re-ink that. Yes, so I can't spell to save my life. And so Mom had to point out that instead of super, I had written supper. Instead of super short or super quick, I'd written supper. Oh, no, I don't know which way the N goes either. That is right. And awful, I'd put an E in, A-W-E. English is such a hard language for spelling because there are no rules. Well, there are rules, but then they break them all. I'm going to go up a bit. Okay. You just typing challenged 90% of the time. You have S's instead of A's and D's instead of S's, and yeah, I'm quite good at deciphering Olga type. We won't talk about your directionally challenged self. Okay. Something. Right, that all fitted on one page. I know I haven't got the dot, but I will deal with that later. Okay, so celebrate, you say, should be in million colors. I like that idea. I'm up for that challenge. The only thing is the E has to be the same color each time, unfortunately, because I'm not cleaning it in between. So that's just going to be how we roll. Okay, so oh, you mean I should do rainbow, rainbow, like go from pink into orange into yellow. Okay, let's see if we can achieve that. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Getting paint on. And we'll go. I'm very honored that you're awake, Olga, my night owl friend. So they started drilling this morning in the building at like 8 o'clock. Now I can hear the cleaners bashing away at the stairs with their broom. The guy wears headphones, so he can't actually hear. And I don't have, what have I got? I've got spiced marmalade we'll have to do, or I've got carved pumpkin. Right, let's go carved pumpkin. And that one needs, there we go. Celebrate. Oh, and this one's had silver paint on, so it's probably going to resist. So yeah, so the guy wears headphones and he hits all the railings. And he has no idea because he's busy listening to music. Okay, celebrate. I hope I've spelled this right. Nobody's told me that I haven't. Okay, E. Now I have to clean that off. Cell. I'm just going to turn it that way so I can dry. L should be in yellow. I hope there's still some in this one. Yes, there we go. I'm sure there's enough for an L. Celebrate. Now this needs to be green. No, I better go with a brighter lucky clover. Celle. A full sentence of swear words. Swear words are just adjectives. Expletives. Okay, so that's clean. Oh, let me be a good girl. Put my lids back on. Celebrate. B must be in blue. I got this out. Oh, this is my favorite blueprint sketch. Making sure I have enough paint everywhere. Oh. Now this is going to be interesting because I need to fit the R in that curved space because it's gone further over than I anticipated. We can skip green in the rainbow. Oh, your favorite color, Olga. What's a blue-green? We do need green. I don't know if I'm going to fit the R in there. This is going to be interesting. R needs to be purple. Okay, I seem to have two purples here. We'll go with wilted violet. Oh, this one. I can't hear its little ball. Oh, I wonder if it's even liquid in there. It's still full. Oh, this one's gone quite dry. I'm going to resuscitate that one with my hang on, this is a new trick that I learned just the other day. I can't think of her name. Sorry, while I just fight my desk out the way and I grab, and it's not there, probably because it's still on my desk or on my floor somewhere. Where did I put it? Did I put it in the wrong place? I want my acrylic medium, which has just resuscitated all of Finn's pastes. Sorry, I am still here. I'm just talking to myself while I try and find. Oh my word! If you could actually see my studio, no, it's probably not a good thing. Oh, it fell over. It is exactly where it should be. So there was an Indian lady, and I unfortunately have forgotten her name. And I don't know if this is now going to change the water reactiveness of this paint, but I really don't care. I want purple. She said instead of adding water to the paint, you can add this medium because it will revive the paint to the right consistency. And I don't want to add water to Tim's Distress paint because it is water reactive. Okay, that has just gone like jelly. I think I've created cottage cheese. What a pity. Maybe it just needs more. Let's just see. It was unusable as it was. I'm just adding more of that. And some more of that. That seems to be working. Yeah, so if your pastes are going really thick, rather add, now I've only got gloss because that's all I've got in my lockdown stash, but if you've got chalk paint, obviously it would be preferable to add matte medium to it. And I used gloss in my texture paste from, not texture paste, the rust paste. It works like an absolute dream. Okay, so now I have my purple. There we go. I can get it back into the nozzle. Let's see if I can squeeze some out. Yay! I resuscitated it. Okay, what am I doing? R. So this stuff is acrylic. This is a South African brand. Acrylic gloss glaze medium. I broke your favorite color. I didn't break it. It's been sitting on the shelf for a year. All these things have a unfortunately, as with everything, it has a lifespan. And I've managed, I didn't break it, I just fixed it. Look, I got it working. Olga's favorite color is purple. And I'm going to give it a light mist with some water. This is the world in theory without drowning it, so that it helps if you take the lid off, you can't mist nothing. And I almost drowned it, so that there goes that theory. Because I'm going to be working in this challenged section over here, because I'm trying to get the R to go across the spine. I cottage cheese your purple. Okay, let's just, if not, I'll paint it in. Okay, we'll have to paint it in. So let's put its lid back on, and I'm just gonna grab that little paintbrush that I had here earlier, which is still here. Okay, I'm gonna fill in the gap. Mind the gap, please, mind the gap. Can't have gaps. Silence as I concentrate. There we go. Resuscitated R, resuscitated paint. Okay, now we're back to the A, and I'm slowly going downhill, so the A better go back up. So now we're back to pink. So I'm intentionally putting the A a bit high. Celebrate, not T, and then I need an E again. The T will need to be orange. Whose idea was this? It's taking forever, but it's fun. And what else have we got to do in our day anyway but have fun? Tea. It's very squishy, the orange. Now I need my E again, and the E is going to be yellow. Yellow. And let's get the E the right way around. Okay, so let's, now I've got these all on my, and I didn't put the R the right way around. I've got these all on a piece, on some wet wipes so that they don't dry out. That's the world in theory. And I need my E back over here. And I need some coffee. Oh, and I need this on the floor. I can't work in this cramped space. Oh, I need some elbow room. I think it was my good friend Francis, or maybe your idea. Sneaking suspicion it was your idea. So I need today. So I need the T back. O-D. I need the A back. Let's celebrate something today. What is the saying? Let's celebrate something today so we can have cake. The so we can have I'm going to use from there. So what shall we do the today in? Must I seriously also do it in? Oh, what the hell. Let's see if I can clean this and do, let's not start, maybe I should repeat the colors same as that, or some crazy lady. I have lots of crazy friends besides you. You'd be surprised to know. But I do have a great suspicion that it was my friend Olga who suggested I do celebrate in a million colors. But I do rather like it. So it was a good idea. I'll accept it. Challenge accepted. I always try and rise to the challenge. Okay, so should we have today in multicolor, or shall I do an ombre? Let's go from black into color. How would that be? Ombre. Okay, and are we gonna do, so it would be pink, orange, yellow, green, blue. Or shall we start with yeah, so it'll be okay. Let's do an ombre. So I'm going to go from the bottom up. And come with the black. Is this the broken one? No, this is the working one. Today in ombre. I don't know why I'm singing everything today. Just because I don't know. No idea. Right, let's put that on the water. So we need the orange. And we're going to go orange at the bottom. And the orange is quite wet. But that's rather nice. Because then you don't get patches like that. Oh, I really shouldn't be doing it on my paper because the sticky from the double-sided tape is on the back of my letter, which I've just stamped onto my page. T-O. And that was down too much, so we'll have to do the yellow. Pick up some from there. Having just said I really shouldn't be working on my page, I do it again. Sucker for punishment. And I'm going to go there. D. A must be in Olga's favorite color, which is green. I'm so glad you're watching today, Olga. I can use your color lots. Sarcasm is thick. So I'm going slightly higher with my color than I wanted so that I can come back down into it with my green. Okay. And my wine blue. Oh, and that's stuck before I even, I'm trying to get that off without destroying my page. See, there's all the double-sided tape is stuck there. So I'm just going to shove this up so you can actually see me working. And this one's also quite thick. I'm just trying to get some paint out, because I noticed on the B there it didn't come off so well. It's fine because it's a darker color, so it worked okay. I'm quite happy with that. Okay. Ah! See, it even stuck to my finger. That's a bit ridiculous. I'm going to bring my cake into the picture a bit more. I think I'm going to drop it. I'm going to have it about there. My E is backwards, I know, because it had paint on this side, so I didn't want to get paint. So it's bad enough I've already got blue spray on my cake where I didn't want it. And I want the back of my cake straight, like so. And then maybe I should drop it down because we still need to have this sing so we can eat cake. Come up there. I think I need to stick my cake because it's going to misbehave otherwise. Glossy accents to the rescue. Somebody asked the other day, why do I glue with glossy accents? Well, because Tim does. It is just, I love this as a glue. It is my favorite glue. And you'll notice I have a pin stuck to it because it does misbehave and block, but I am quite happy to live with that because I just want to get, I've made a mess. I need a piece of roller towel which is on the floor so that I can blot it and not have that mess, because it will dry shiny because it's Hello Glossy Accents, but I find it glues things nice and quickly Has a very fine nozzle, so I can glue detail stuff. But I'm using the roller towel just in case it does ooze out the sides, because it is very liquid. So that, there we go. Okay, and just get air in the nozzle and close it again. And I don't want to lose that. That must just stay there like a good little sticky thing. Get off my fingers. Ah, these new stamps are always so sticky. Okay, so now I need the word cake. Let's get it back the right way around. So it's going to be, so we can eat cake. Right. See? Now these ones are quite thick, and because of that they are quite floppy. Maybe I'll open that up a bit more. Can I open it a bit more so that it's a bit bigger? Yes. Because otherwise it looks a bit like an O. And lift. And I think I'm going to have it there. It's so hard not to stick my great big head in shot. And that's done. It's quite interesting where I've used the watercolors, the paint is pulling off a little bit. Oh, there go my building dentists. Hello, have you had your tea break now? It's time to work again. I'm so over this noise. Chatting to one of my neighbors upstairs on the 7th floor, because this nonsense is going on the 4th floor. They have cut off his TV cable 3 times in the last few months. So they're even less popular with him. And pop that over there. Right, find all my lids. My glue is without its lid. That is without its lid. And that shouldn't be there. Okay, now I need a little tiny block, because, and I'm going to use my little tiny ink pad if I can find it on my desk. You know, so organized and yet not at all. I have my little block, little tiny block. I have my little ink pad. Okay, let me just zoom across the room. In fact, it's right here because I have my trolley on wheels. Ah, there we go. This one will do. So now I need it to go that way. Let's just see that it is the right way around. Yes. It's the problem with these clear things. It does help once you've got the ink on. You can actually see what it is saying. Oh, and I did stick it on the wrong side. So now I've got it on the wrong side so that so this would have been in the way there. So we can have cake. Ta-da! Right, now my favorite bit. I'm going to grab my white Posca pen. Now I did have one out earlier because I did put an underscore under one of my letters. Did I throw it back where it should be? That would be unusual. These ones are quite skinny. Oh, and I need my apostrophe. So now I have this great big thing for the leads. I need to put that in. And it is over there. So let's just going to pop that one away before I lose it. And let's give my eye on the ing a dot. Let's use my black. No, that's the broken one. I really should put that one away. It's just it's full, so it's heavy, so I keep picking it up, but I broke it. Okay, let's just give the eye a dot. Something. Clean it. I leave these ones on the big ones or I would just lose them. Okay, let's celebrate something so we can eat cake. And let me just clean that up before I get it all over myself, all over my journal, all over everything. Put the lid back on that. Okay, if I can't, I have, oh, this is my giant one. Yeah, that'll work. I always have my highlights on the right. Vicky, who does the most amazing art journals, I picked this tip up from her, and I always put little highlights on my letters, and I always do the right hand side. That's just me, and I'm going to stick it on all of these just because it makes them kind of pop. And I'm going to use the skinny one on this one. Can't work. This is my one that's not working. There's always one that's not working. That one is working. No, that's wet. Do not put your pen in a wet paint. It will stop working almost instantly. So I'll come back to that later. And I'm going to just put the highlights on here. Swing. And on my word cake. And then I'm going to put a drop shadow on all of these because especially this word, it's kind of disappearing. The yellow is definitely disappearing. I need, that's a black cookie. Now the problem is I have used Distress Oxide spray on the base and it will want to block my cookie. So I'm just looking for a pencil crayon. I did have a black pencil crayon, or I can use my Zig marker. I might use that. Or if I have, oh, here we go. I have this one. There we go. So I'm going to turn my book because I want to work on the side, and I'm going to just blow dry this because these big blobs that I put here are still wet. And with my great big hand I will smudge it. Because Posca is basically paint in a pen. So I'm going to do underneath of each letter and I'm going to do the side. So I'm going to start off, because I'm right-handed, I'm going to come from the side, and I'm not even, these letters are not perfect, so I am doing the best I can. And in fact I'm going to follow, some of these letters are intentionally wiggly, and I'm just going to follow it. So I'm putting the shadow on the same side each time, and I'm using Posca pen again in black. And this trick again I learned, well, I did graphic design and we used to do this kind of thing, but I've seen Vicky doing it, so I give the credit for this idea to Vicky. I'm going to say Vicky P because I can't pronounce her surname. She's just the most wonderful lady. She's so generous with all her knowledge. She has the most incredible videos that she posts on YouTube. And I love her voice. When I was in Frankfurt now in January, I went for dinner with Olga and the gang, and I had never met her before in person, and of course we only ever see our hands online. So I heard her voice and I'm like, oh my word, that's Vicky. I was so embarrassed, but she thought it was very funny. And this is dry now, so I'm gonna do that side. Can you see what I'm doing? Yes. And it would go down there, it would come up here, it would go down there, it would come up here. Talking to myself. Because that way I get the best answers. Oh, I went so askew there. Right, I still need to do, not really going to show on the blue, but I'm going to do it anyway. Inside there, inside there. Because you do it in one place, you got to do it everywhere. Okay, now I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to do underneath straight stripes just because it's easier for my hand. Oh, I should have started at the top in case I smudge it. And I'm probably out of screen, so I'll come back in. Start at the top. There we go. So that helps to pop that lettering out. And I want to do a bit of a grey shadow underneath here. And for that I'm going to use my grey distress marker. Let's see which one I'm going to use. Oh, timber. Probably going to go with the darker one. Now I have marked my, firstly because I'm a teacher, so I can see my things on my desk when I'm teaching. I've marked my brush nib side with blue painter's tape. And I'm just going to put some shadow on this side under the cake. Oh, I forgot to do the bottom of that one, but that I can do from this side. Really awkward, but I can do it. There we go. And I'm feeling like this is all a bit bare, like it needs something. I normally like to have a darker color around my edges. So now let's celebrate something today so we can have cake. What goes with cake? Doilies and pretty things. Oh, I had my knife and fork out, which has now landed somewhere on the floor in my desperate need to have. So maybe we'll have that coming in from the side. I like that idea. Okay, now I need another. No, oh, mind you, I'm only going to be using a piece of it coming in from the side. But I think a bigger block would be better. Mind you, that is massive. From the sublime to the ridiculous. Okay, let's ink it up with the big ink pad. Oh no, that's brown. I don't want brown. Or maybe we should have more rainbow. No. Go back to black. And I'm just giving some pressure on the inside. These ink pads have been around the block a few times. They've been re-inked more times than I can remember. Okay, so let's have them coming in from this side over here. So we'll have, I've got quite a bit of ink there. I can have them further in over here. And I'm going to do CPR sitting down. Tim says you don't need to do CPR. I need to do CPR. Ta-da! And then I'm going to have it, because I want it there, so I'm going to have 1, 2, maybe I'll do this one first, and then I'll see what I need in between. Yep, and we can have one more there. Trying not to have it in a row, trying to make it more interesting. Thanks, Francis. I'm having fun. Missing our days in table view where we used to do, I always used to teach art journaling in the table view shop. Okay, do you think I can still squeeze? I can still squeeze the last one in there. I'm going to squeeze the last one in. I'm going to have, now it's difficult to know because you can't exactly see there, so I'm going to masking tape off the fork so it doesn't misbehave, because I might not get it quite right. In fact, it allows me to bring that further in. I could have had the fork going over the page. There we go. Ta-da! Now I need to fill my edges a little bit more. I'm kind of feeling like it needs something. And what's my favorite filler if it's not a stamp? It's my Tim Holtz dot fade. Okay, so now that's paint on that one. Now I'm looking for my... Okay, when I want it really black, I use my archival ink. And what I need to do is keep it straight with the edge of my page. I really should have my shelf stuff here. I'm going to bring it in a little bit. I'm going to let it fade, check what I've got, and move it across. It just fills the gaps. And I go silent again as I concentrate. Sorry, people. Bad habit. And pop that out the way. Pop it up. Maybe down here I will use my other favorite stencil. Where are my stencils? Okay, I store all my stencils in here, and I have, there we go. Ta-da! I think we need some bigger bubbles down at the bottom here. So it kind of feels like effervescence. And I'm still going to use that. But I'll get some nice big bubbles going down here. And again, I'm going to really load this well on one side, and I'm going to clip these guys. They're always guys. I don't know why I don't have girls. Everything's always guys. I'm going to make it really dark on this side. Ha! What is that? Not sure. And I'm going to have some just coming across here lightly. I'm talking softly because I'm trying to be gentle with my ink pad, and just have some like sparkles, you know, like the water, like if you have champagne, those bubbles. Sort of like, yeah. And then of course we need our little highlight. I'm going to get big ones on these big guys. And just little ones on the little guys. Let's close this before I get my hand in it. Is this the one that's not working? Probably. Because scale does matter. Oh, I should have done those first because they... Ta-da! And I'm going to call that done. So let's celebrate something today so we can have cake. No, it's not. It's a splat from something. Doesn't matter. It's now one of those things. And I think I need a little bit coming in here. Just to link the pages across. Trying to keep straight. Done. Done, 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 done. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. I had fun. Thanks for all the ideas. Throwing in the multicolor, which I probably wouldn't have done because it's more effort than, but it was worth it. So see you on Thursday.